Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unacademy classes. My name is Abhishek Mishra, and in today's class, we will be starting, or more specifically, we will be continuing our discussion of common mistakes that a student can do in manufacturing and how to avoid them. So, just stick with me for an hour or so, in which we will take this class completely. So, before starting this class, let me just check if the chat is working fine or not on my phone so that I can interact with you all. So, yeah, it's fine. Let's start our discussion. I will be taking this entire class in English, so a lot of students from all over India can join this discussion. So, once again, hello to all. My name is Abhishek Mishra, and you are watching Unacademy classes. Welcome. In this class, we will be discussing about the common mistakes that can happen in your GATE examination from the manufacturing subject. And we will look into the tips and tricks that I will be sharing to just make you avoid this common mistake. And we will also be discussing about the concepts in this class of the manufacturing subject. So overall, this class will be worth your time here. So I uh, just want your full attention for this hour or so, and you will find after the end of this class you are very well prepared in the things that I have taught you, and they are going to be very helpful. I have secured all India rank of 662 in GATE 2020. My MTech was completed in 2019 from IIT BHU Varanasi. I have got good teaching experience of 2 years in mechanical engineering subjects, and I have the interest that are listed here. Some of my interest: photo editing, video editing, cricket, football, and I like all sorts of games. So as you can see, I have prepared for GATE. I have also taught about the GATE exam. So over the years, I have accumulated a lot of tips and tricks that I will be making sure to share properly with you, and you should just sit back, relax, interact whenever I ask you to do so, and just see what I am talking about, discussing about, and absorb as much as you can from the class. And as you can see, my rank was 662 in GATE 2020, and this was something of a problem with me that I always used to do some hard questions, because hard questions I become more attentive, and then I just make the easy questions wrong. So that's why my class specifically will help you in understanding and knowing the common mistakes, because I certainly did that when I gave my GATE examination. So I know where students can make mistake and how to avoid them. I am just making sure that I am giving this proper detail, which, believe me, it will be very useful. And this class is just like a series. So I will be also doing thermodynamics subject after this manufacturing, and then we will look into if I can do some other subjects common mistake or not. So Unacademy app is absolutely free to download, and you should just download it and check it out. And this time, that is the before the exam, 2 months are left, and this is the time where you should absolutely join the Unacademy subscription, because I will tell you why. So when you subscribe to Unacademy, you will be getting daily live classes, live test and quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access. So these are all the things that you will be getting, and you can just find it by just downloading the app or visiting the Unacademy website and seeing what is there for your benefit. But the most important thing that I am going to point out right here is that there are less than 2 months left for GATE examination, or around 2 months. And this is the time for you to join an Academy subscription. Why? Because a lot of revision classes and crash courses are going on right now, and I want you to see the classes, attend the classes live, take part in the discussion there, and after visiting the classes, you will be having your revision, and then the same Unacademy subscription will also grant you access to a lot of test series, which is absolutely must for you to do to score a good marks, because you need the test to feel like a normal test, and to do that you have to give a lot of tests of the same pattern of the online type, and then only you will find yourself very well familiar and relaxed when you give your GATE examination. Because if you are just studying from the books and from the classes and not giving test, then when the time comes to give test, you will find it very new, and hence you are probability will increase that you will make mistakes there. So just become familiar, just attend the test and just learn from your mistake, become familiar with the whole layout of the GATE exam. And also you have to learn the time management, because there are 65 questions, and some people do aptitude question first, some do them last, some do 2 marks question first. So it varies from individual to individual, and to find what is best for you, you have to give full marks GATE exam test along with some mini test to revise your concept. So in this time, that is before just 2 months or before less than 2 months, you need to only revise or attend crash courses, so that you can get most from the least amount of time, and then you can give test and learn from that test. So repeat this cycle: revise, test, learn from it, and then also revise, give test. And then you will find that you are going to be very well prepared, and you will smartly prepare in less amount of time if you are doing this thing. And don't forget to also check out the official GATE papers by downloading them from the official GATE site, so that you can see what an official paper looks like. So that is also important. So but the most core the core is that revision and test series, and Unacademy is providing you exactly that. And don't see it like that you can get the same value from recorded classes. Recorded classes are fine, but the best way to learn online is the live classes, and you can only attend the crash courses and live classes if you are subscribing. So I hope that you are if you have the budget, then you are thinking of subscribing, and subscribing as soon as possible, not waiting for the absolute last moment, because this is absolute last moment. You have your 2 months, just do your preparation. If you wait further, then you will find that you are not going to do anything properly. So so the top educators are there for you to learn with, and this will obviously give you all the details about the tips and tricks, the GATE exam syllabus, how to smartly cover all these things. So you can find all this when you visit the Unacademy website, and also on YouTube here you will be finding these educators. But the main thing, the main crash courses, to do them in a proper structured manner, you have to attend the subscription classes. And here are the subscription prices for plus type subscription, which is basically a classroom type experience. So no cost EMI is available on 6 months and above subscription plan, and this 10% off code is applicable here. And if you apply this code, then you will be getting extra discount, and this right here on your screen is the least possible price which you can get an Unacademy subscription for. So if you are not using this code, then there is no way to get this subscription at this least possible price. 10% off code, use that, subscribe, attend revision classes, crash courses, and join test series, and download the Unacademy app. You will find that the Unacademy app is far advanced than anything you have seen. And in the Unacademy app, you have to use this code ABHIMI to get free classes, to watch free classes there, to get a taste, to download free notes there. So just use this code to get this free classes and free notes. But download Unacademy app 100%. It is very worth your time. And if you are thinking about joining Unacademy for a long duration, then start with 12, 18 or 24 months plan, because you will be getting a lot of discount there. And again, if you are planning for GATE 2022, then 12 months, 18 months and 24 months plan will be the absolute best ones to choose from. And I would recommend 18 months to choose and to start preparation just now, because if you wait further and do this thing late, then you will find that your preparation will be not become proper till you start taking this seriously. So start taking this seriously from today, because again, time is very valuable. You are investing time here, so I expect, and you also expect, that the results are there if you are investing it. So invest it in smart way. Subscribe here in Unacademy and start your preparation like the way I just informed you. Iconic subscription is also another type of subscription available here, where you can get more assistance. So personal coach, personalized test series, and again you can use the same code to get this 10% discount here, and no cost EMI is also available here on 6 months and above subscription plan. So use this code. This code will come in very handy, because it is not only giving you this access to free classes and free notes on the Unacademy's app and website, but it is also giving you this 10% extra discount, which will make you get an Unacademy subscription for the least possible price. And if you are thinking that these prices are a bit high, let me tell you that these are not high. These are reasonably priced, because again, think about the content, the number of teachers you are getting a chance to study from, and the notes and the test series. Just look at the Unacademy app. You will find that the app is very much better than anything right now that you can find. And the quizzes there are very different than what you give in the normal test series of the other institutes. So Unacademy is making sure that you are getting your preparation done in a new innovative way. So just take part in this and just get its full benefit, and subscribe according to your need and budget. So let's start the discussion for today's class. And again, if you don't want to just do calculations here, then you can just sit back, relax, and just attend this class, listen the discussion that I'm having. And because in this class I will also be not doing a lot of questions. My main aim is to make you aware of the potential mistakes that you can make. And if you are thinking about that, no, I never make mistake, I am very confident, then it is very good. But most of the times what happen, even if you are confident while giving the exam, or while being in home and preparing and giving test series there, when the GATE exam comes, that is when the final GATE exam comes, then you will find yourself in a new environment, in an environment where there will be a lot of expectations from yourself about your preparation and how to implement it. And you will find that type of things might sometime make you do some mistakes which are very silly, very uncommon. And we will talk about those also. But you have to also be aware of some mistakes which a lot of students make, because you can also make those mistakes, and the examiner is aiming for you to make that mistakes. Examiner is aiming for the top 10,000 students, let's say not 10,000, 5,000 students, because the top 5,000 students in mechanical engineering, they all I think will be preparing in a very better way. Okay, if the top 5,000 students are going in a GATE examination, then I think that those students who have secured 5,000 ranks, still that they are prepared very well, but their rank will go up and down due to the mistakes. So that mistakes that might happen and that examiner is making you do, you have to be very well aware of them. and how to just avoid them, how to just make sure that you are not making that mistake. Let's talk about that. So the first question of our is from the orthogonal machining topic, and this question is asking that orthogonal machining of a steel workpiece is done with a HSS tool of zero rake angle. The ratio of cutting force and thrust force on the tool is 1 is to 0.372. The length of cut chip is 4.71 mm, and while that of uncut chip is 10 mm. What is the shear angle and frictional angle in degree? Use merchant theory. So here the question is given, or it is telling you to use merchant theory, and you have definitely studied about merchant theory when you are going to give this question, do this question in exam. So merchant theory will be known to you, it is not that hard. So what will be the merchant's theory? Merchant's theory will be, according to this merchant's theory, your shear angle will become so this will be your merchant theory. But let's talk about one more thing here. Some people study merchant theory like this. Now comes a very interesting part. If you are studying about merchant theory like the formula below, then you have to put alpha and beta in radians, because pi by 4 is 45 degrees, and you are using, instead of this 45 degree in radian, pi by 4. So your alpha and beta will also be in radians. So if you are not putting them in radians, then you are going to get wrong answer. So first of all, I would recommend you to use this formula where 45 degrees is used and where you are putting these angles in degrees. It is it will make sure that you are not going to get this error. And because obviously a lot of times we are doing question, degrees are only used, and also in the question degree is there. So it is better that you use this equation. But that was not the main point that I was going to discuss in our first question. In our first mistake that students make here, I was going to discuss here about when to use merchant's theory and when not to use merchant's theory. It is very, very important. See, your tool will have some geometry, and that geometry will be the angles, that is the side cutting edge angle, the rake angle. Okay, these are the things, are geometry of the tools. So that geometrical relations that is there from the tools whole geometry can be obtained via merchant circle. So that merchant circle will give you, and also you have the one formula to calculate the shear angles. So you have your shear angle calculation formula, and one of the formula to calculate beta, that is frictional angle, is coming from the merchant circle. So I have talked about it a lot in my classes, that whenever you are asked to calculate angles in orthogonal machining, you will first use these two formulas and check if you are able to get the answer in by using these two formulas or not. Because if you are not able, then go for merchant circle as the question is suggesting you. But if you are able to get the answers from those two formulas, then make sure that you are not using merchant circle there, merchant's theory there. If you are using merchant theory there, then you will get your wrong answer. How? Let's see. So you have your first formula, or let me just make a So your first important formula is tan phi is equal to r cos alpha divided by 1 minus r sin alpha. And then you have tan beta minus alpha is equal to thrust force divided by cutting force. So I will just write it here that use this formula first to calculate phi alpha beta. So use this formulas first to calculate shear angle, rake angle, frictional angle. Because if the question is asking you to calculate this angles, then they will be giving you one of these angles for sure, because you have only two equations as listed or as written in the with the violet ink. So you have this tan phi and alpha relation and beta minus phi relation. So the alpha, that is his rake angle, is given in the question as 0, and most of the times rake angle will be the one which is given in the question. So you want the other two angles beta and alpha as asked in the question, then these two formulas are the ones that you must use to get the answer. Or you can use some other ways also via the merchant circle or via some of your force equations, but that I think will be a lot complicated than using these two formulas. And if you are not able to get the values using these two formulas, that is if you are, for example, not given value of uh, for let's say alpha or ftfc or small r, that is chip thickness ratio, then you can use the merchant circle to obtain the other angles or obtain the angle that you need. But if you are able to get these angles from the here, then no need to use the merchant's theory. So merchant's theory, merchant's equation is this: 45 degree plus alpha by 2 minus beta by 2 is equal to phi. And again, take care that if you are using 45 degrees, then alpha and beta are in degrees to be put, and if you are using pi by 4 in the merchant's theory, then alpha and beta should be put in radians. So one more thing is there for you to look into here, that the length of cut off chip is given 4.71 mm and uncut chip length is given 10 mm. So remember this r here, which is the chip reduction, not chip reduction, chip thickness ratio, it is always uncut thickness by cut chip thickness. And I should write it somewhere else because it is. So R is your chip thickness ratio T by TC, and R is always less than 1. So if you are being provided with the lengths of cut and uncut chip, then remember, then now the length of chip, the chip term will be at the top and the uncut chip will be at the bottom, so that we can get this less than 1 value, which is what R is. And if in the question instead of R it is simply given that, so instead of R, let me so if instead of R it is given chip reduction ratio, then remember that it is H equal to 1 by R and it will be greater than 1 always. And for chip thickness ratio R, T by TC, which we have just discussed, and you should also know this, that it is less than 1. So why TC is greater than T always? So the answer is TC becomes greater than T due to plastic deformation. And if you are thinking about temperature, temperature's role in expanding this T to a greater value Tc, then its role is very less, and it is almost negligible. So the most important point is plastic deformation, which is making this chip thickness greater than the uncut chip thickness. Now comes the other question. So let's talk about it now. A steel bar 200 mm in a diameter is turned at a speed of 0.25 mm per revolution with a depth of cut of 4 mm. The rotational speed of workpiece is 160 rpm. The material removal rate in mm cube per second is. Now we have this material removal rate to be calculated, and remember this very important thing which will come in handy for not this this subject manufacturing but for other subjects also. Here you are being asked about material removal rate in mm cube per second, but generally whenever you find the material removal rate, the formula is FdV, you can say here 1000, it is mm cube per minute. Okay, but here it is asking you to find it in mm cube per second. So the examiner, he or she knows that student usually find it in per minute, but he or she has changed it in per second to make you get this answer wrong. See, here it is given the workpiece is having rotational speed 160 rpm, so it is given in minutes. So obviously what you will do, if you are not just paying more attention, you will calculate it in the velocity in meter per minute, and therefore you will make this mistake. So always before just writing the answer, so for example you have calculated the answer as 502 millimeter cube per minute, so you have calculated the answer this. So before just writing your answer, always just take a look that what the unit is and if your unit that you have calculated is matching or not. So here obviously the unit is not matching, so what you will do, you will change it and get the correct answer. And let's see if we can have another discussion here from this question. So steel bar diameter, feed, Fn, depth of cut. So I think that will be it for this question's discussion about potential mistake. Rest is not that hard to get the answer. So let's move forward. So how you will get the answer here? You will find the area of cut and then you will multiply with the Fn, that is the axial speed, to get the answer. So here comes a very interesting question, and very this question is, a lot of students can make the error here, which is very common. So let's see what is to be learned from this question. A researcher conducts electrochemical machining on a binary alloy. Density is given, atomic weight is given, valency is given. Metal P, atomic weight, valency is also given, Faraday's constant, so it is given. And by the way, you have to remember this value because sometimes it may not be given, it might not be given in the question. So you have to remember this, that Faraday's constant is 96,500, and also remember its unit, it will come in handy. Volumetric material removal rate of alloy is 50 mm³ per second at a current of 200 amperes. The percentage of metal P in the alloy is closest to. So here, this is ECM question, electrochemical machining question. So you have to find this E, which is valency. Let's take the valency Z divided by the atomic weight. It is atomic weight by valency. So it is A by Z. So this you will be getting from the material removal rate formula of the ECM. So from the material removal rate formula of ECM, electrochemical machining, you will get this E, and this E will be the total E of the alloy. And when you are going to do this question and calculate this percentage of metal P, you have to take 1 by E. Now comes the part where you might make mistake. So 1 by E is equal to Z by A. So what is for this iron? It is 2 by 56. Now iron, for example, let's say it is having percentage X, or let's say, since we have to calculate the percentage of metal P, let's say the metal P is having X percentage. So iron will be having, since this is a binary alloy, iron will be having 100 minus X percentage or 1 minus X percentage. It will be 100 minus X. Don't make this mistake of taking 1 minus X, because you will be getting your X value as 40, 25, 15, 75, that is already multiplied by 100. But if you are putting 1 minus X, then you can expect your answer to be in decimals. So it is 100 minus X divided by 100 and plus the other one is 4 by 24 X by 100. So what type of mistake here you can do if you are putting this in decimal, that you are going to then write the equation like this: 1 minus X divided by 1 plus 4 by 24 X. So both of these are very different, and it is based on what you are going to take. If you are going to take the X value as percentage, then you have to subtract with 100 and divide by 100. And if you are going to take it in decimals, then you have to do the same, but now you have your 1 here. So the correct answer can be calculated like this. And again, my main aim here is to not do questions that you can see the formula and do. I am just pointing out the mistakes that you should be aware when you are doing the question from yourself. So I will leave it to that. It is one of the GATE questions that you can easily find the answer of. So let's discuss now what we have to do here, what we have to be aware of here in this question. So where was my pen here? So yes, the surface irregularities of electrodes used in an electrochemical machining process are 3 micrometer and 6 micrometer as shown in the figure. If the workpiece is of pure iron and 12 volt DC is applied between the electrodes, the largest feed rate is asked. So this question is obviously a lengthy question, and you can find the whole exact procedure if you are not familiar with this in your GATE solution book. But here just see this conductivity term. Now this term you will not find in this type of questions. This term conductivity you will not find in the GATE questions of this type, in which you have to calculate material removal rate of ECM or use that formula. What you will find is resistivity. So resistivity is having this unit of ohm and then one of the lengths, that is ohm mm. And what is given? Conductivity. So what is conductivity? Conductivity is 1 by resistivity, that is 1 by uh, ohm mm. So what you need, you need the resistivity to find the current, and that current will be obtained if you know the area. So you will have to know the resistivity only. If you are using the conductivity value as resistivity, then you will not get your answer. So the main thing that I am going to point out here in this question is the GATE examination examiner sometimes may give this type of thing where you are given reciprocal or something other, which is not the usual value or usual way of giving you data, and then you have to properly see what is given and then decide that where you are going to use that data in. So here just see the units and then just see if those units are same with the units that you study for your formula. Since the unit here are just exact reciprocal, what you will do, you will find the resistivity by just doing this reciprocal and then do the question as usual. But if you are not familiar, not taking the more attention, not giving more attention, then what we will do, you will just assume this as resistivity and just continue your basic routine of doing the question, but that will be wrong. So just pay more attention here. And that was the main thing that I have to just point it out in this type of questions, that read the question properly, see the units to know which datas are given in the question, and if some data is given in some other form, then you can change it to your suitable form to use. So do this thing, also take care of it. Now comes this very good welding question, and it is also one of the questions where a lot of students make mistakes. So this question is asking very simple thing, that you have to find open circuit voltage and short circuit current. So what you will do, you will have to use this equation Vt by V naught plus It by Is is equal to 1. So you need to calculate this V naught and this Is. And for this type of calculation, you need two equations, because you have, since you have two unknowns, V naught and Is, you need two equations. So you need two values of I, and it is given in the question, but you need two values of V also. And there is a way by which we can calculate it, because it is given that V arc is equal to 20 plus 5L, where L is arc length, and it is given that arc length is varying from 5 to 7 mm, and current is varying from 400 to 500 ampere. Now comes a part where you can make mistake. You will think that for this 5 mm arc length you have 400 ampere current, and for this 7 mm arc length you have 500 ampere current. But that is wrong, because your power is equal to Vi. So if power is constant, if power is equal to constant, then V if goes up, then I will definitely go down. And here in the formula, V is equal to, V arc is equal to 20 plus 5L. We can see that L if increasing, if L is increasing, your V is going to increase. If L is increasing, your V is also increasing, because they are linearly related. So you can say that with the increase of L, V will increase, but I will decrease. So if L is 5, then the current will be 500, not 400. And if L is 7, that is, if L is large, then current will be small, and vice versa. So for 5, it will be 500, and for 7, it will be 400, because length more, current less, current more, length less, because of the relation that they have. So if you are just taking 400 for 5 and 500 for 7 mm length, then you will get absolutely wrong answer, and examiner has given this exact data in this exact way for you to make this mistake. So just know this basic concept so that you can avoid this mistake. Again, if you are new to this channel, and if you want to just attend my classes, then you can subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscription button that is below the video, and click on the notification icon, bell icon, so that you can get notification whenever I and some other educator go live, so that you can attend their classes live, and try to ask questions during your live class discussion, so that you can interact with your educator. You can ask doubt on the spot, and it will obviously help you a lot, because you will remember the things better if you are interacting well in the class. And I am also taking classes on Unacademy's YouTube channel and Unacademy's official website and app. So Unacademy's app you can download from free from the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, and I will be taking thermodynamics classes there, along with some exclusive manufacturing classes that I am not going to take here. So there you can find the notes like this questions that I am doing it here. You can find it in PDF form. So use the code that is given on the top of the screen to watch the Unacademy classes live on their app and website, and also to attend free classes and download free notes. This code will be the one that is required there. So do all these things, and if you want to attend my classes there, today I will be taking the class at 10 p.m. and thermodynamics class will be there, so you can visit there and attend the classes, and there I will be giving you live quizzes to answer, so that you can prepare well. So let's move forward and discuss this other question. And here in this question we have diameter of mandrel given to us and diameter of bore of bush given to us. The bush was mounted on the mandrel and then turned. Maximum eccentricity of the bush is asked in mm. So while doing the metrology questions, you must have read about the clearance. So here it is asking maximum eccentricity instead of clearance. So maximum eccentricity, remember, it is maximum radial clearance. So if maximum eccentricity is asked, and if you are not finding radial clearance, that is, if you are not dividing your clearance which you have obtained, which obviously will be the diametrical clearance, then you will find your answer wrong. And I have seen a lot of students, and I too have made this mistake when I was just doing this question for the first time, because I didn't just it didn't just click me that eccentricity is the radial clearance. So what will be the maximum radial clearance? It will be simply, you will find your clearance, that is so to find this you have to find maximum clearance divided by 2, and maximum clearance will be upper limit of hole minus lower limit of shaft divided by 2. So you can find the answer properly via this method. So it is not that hard, but the thing that you have to remember is this 2 that is coming due to you being asked about eccentricity, maximum eccentricity, not maximum clearance, and eccentricity is radial clearance. So this thing you have to remember properly. So let's move forward and discuss some other things here. Turning of a metal using a single point cutting tool having a tool signature, depth of cut is given, feed rate is given, result in chip thickness. So chip thickness is also given. What will be the shear angle? So you have a turning question and you have been given a tool signature, but it is not given that if this tool signature is ORS or ASA. And other things are also given. So what you have to find, just look into it. You have to find shear angle. So shear angle is obtained using this tan phi is equal to R cos alpha divided by 1 minus R sin alpha. So to find shear angle, you must know alpha and R. So let's see if R is given or not. So R will be, so this is turning of metal using a single point cutting tool. Depth of cut is given and feed rate is given. And you have also been provided with this chip thickness. So chip thickness will be at the below, and now you have to calculate the uncut chip thickness. So remember, in turning operation, your uncut chip thickness is equal to F sine approach angle or principal cutting edge angle. So if you have found this thing, then you can get the R, and after you have obtained the R, which will be less than 1, what you can do, you can calculate this whole, solve this whole equation and get your phi. So alpha, it is the first term or the second term. Here comes the confusion and here comes the error that student might make, that I am going to discuss and make you understand that how you can avoid them and how you can properly see what the question is asking. So you have two tool signatures, ASA and ORS. So let's talk about them first. And above is the link. Just write it down in your copy and just enter that link on the browser of your mobile or computer to get to the profile page of mine, so that you can follow me there, and my classes when I go live will be accessible to you. So just do that, and you can also find the notes here that I am just teaching here, the questions here, the questions that I am just making you do and discussing here, so that you can do these questions. These questions are very well that I have collected, and I think they will cover a lot of topics of yours and make your concepts very strong. So now let's discuss about the ORS and ASA. So you have two tool signatures to study for your GATE examination, and these two tool signatures are quite different. the last they are ending with same nose radius, and the first term in ASA tool signature is back rake angle, then we have side rake angle, then to relief angle, and then followed by side, then we have end cutting edge angle, then side cutting edge angle. I is the angle of inclination. It will be 0 for orthogonal cutting, and it will be not equal to 0 for oblique cutting. Why, you can understand via the name only. And alpha is the orthogonal rake angle, gamma is the side relief angle, and gamma dash is the end relief angle. And then you have side, not side, then you have end cutting edge angle, then approach angle or principal cutting edge angle. And remember that CS plus lambda is equal to 90 degrees. So your side cutting edge angle plus approach angle or principal cutting edge angle gives you the value of 90 degree. And CS usually varies from 15 to 30 degree, and therefore lambda, what it will vary from the approach angle or principal cutting edge angle, it will vary from let's say it is usually 60 to, or you can say usually greater than 60. Let's not make a range here. So in the question, now just see all this thing, and most importantly see that you have your CS here, and in the place of CS in ORS you have approach angle. And if this CS, if the angle is given in this range or type, in this type, then you will know that this is the side cutting edge angle, and if it is given more than 60, then you will know that it is most probably the ORS, because that is the approach angle. And if it is given in the question that the tool signature is ASO and ORS, then you can then there is no problem. Then what is given, take that and do the question. But if it is not given, then how to know which tool signature is there? By this. So let's see. So your second to last term, penultimate term is 9 degrees. So your second to last term, penultimate term is 9 degrees, and that will be most probably the side cutting edge angle, not principal cutting edge angle or approach angle, because they are usually greater than 60 degrees. So we will say that we are being provided with ASA, and in ASA the alpha that we need to take is the back rake angle, that is the first term. So alpha is 0 degree here because of the ASA tool signature. How we come to that conclusion, I hope you have understood it very clearly. And this is the error a student make if he don't know what type of system tool signature is given. He or she may take some randomly and get the answer wrong if chosen the wrong tool signature, or if assume the wrong tool signature. So very easy question, but you have to know what is tool signature, how to read them, and what are the terms in the tool signature, and what their usually values are. So the thing that I have discussed, just know that very properly. And here when you get this 9 degrees side cutting edge angle, 9 degrees, then you can find your approach angle as 81 degrees, because 90 minus side cutting edge angle is approach angle. Put that here, put the value of f here, get the value of t, put that here in the value of chip thickness ratio, get the value of r. Then you have this whole tan phi formula usage to do, since alpha is 0, so tan phi is equal to r, so phi will be just tan inverse r. So I hope this is clear to you, and you can now just be rest assured that this type of mistakes are not happening from you. So let's discuss the other question here. So for the day, and I think this will be the final class of this series common mistake in which manufacturing is the focus. Then I will see if I can continue this for multiple classes for thermodynamics, because thermodynamics will have a lot of potential errors, lot of questions to discuss which you have to be very careful about. So that will see, but for now let's look into how many questions are left for the day. So we have this 1 2 3 4 5 6. So a lot of questions are left, so we will continue having our nice discussion here. So let me just check if anybody is watching it live so that we can discuss it. So let's continue our class. A certain mold has a sprue whose length is 20 centimeter. The cross-sectional area of the base is 2.5 centimeters square. The sprue feeds a horizontal runner leading into a mold cavity whose volume is 1560 centimeter cube. Determine time to fill the mold. So here we have to determine time to fill the mold, and we have been provided with this data. So the calculation of this question is not the main focus here, because again there is nothing very difficult here to calculate, but the main thing is the options and why you have to be very careful in selecting the right answer or selecting the right options, not just seeing the value of your solution or calculation and then selecting one of the answers that you find first matching your value that is not the correct way. For example, you have done all this calculation, and you found, for example, 3.2. For example, if the answer is 3.2 and you calculated it, you do the whole thing and you calculated the answer, and the final thing that you did was just wrote this value and then just check out the options, then find then there is 3.2 written. So you find this thing and then you just ticked one of the answers, 3.2 minute or 3.2 seconds, and then that's it. And then when the question paper comes, then when the answer key, you find out that if you have selected this value, that this is correct, this is wrong. So what happens, even though you have done everything correct, the one thing that you made mistake is selecting the wrong unit, not doing the question by keeping the units in check, and therefore your when the time comes to give answer, you just selected based on the value, not the whole unit plus value thing that you have to do. So make sure that at the end of your calculation you are writing the answer. So because you will do your basic calculation in the rough sheet, or if you are doing it in calculator, then you have to look and see what is the unit, and if you are doing in the rough work, then you have to write it the unit with the value after the value, so that you can be confirmed that this is the thing that I have found out and I have to give the answer in this value plus this unit. So don't, the whole thing that I want to just tell here, inform here for this question, don't just calculate the value, calculate the whole value plus unit thing and check out the options completely that are given and check out which option is the correct one and which option is giving the correct answer, both value plus unit. So one more thing here that we can learn from this question is to check or to read every option at least once, so that if you are missing something you can just know about it by seeing the options only. And therefore every options are must for you to go through them so that you can know if you are making a mistake or not. Here one more thing I would just inform you about. See, you have your filling time, which is TF, and which will be volume of mold divided by the AG, area of gate, under root 2G HT. So first of all, I have talked about it in my previous class. I would also talk about it here. First of all, here the HT is height of sprue plus height of pouring basin. So if in the question you have some way of calculating the pouring basin height, and if only the sprue height is given, then you will find that pouring basin height and then use the total height here. And if you are not having this any way to calculate pouring basin height, then just neglect it and use HS instead of HT. And the other thing is, sometimes you are going to have this whole data in mm and sometime in centimeter. So G is equal to 9.81 meter per second square, and it is equal to 981 centimeter per second square, and it is equal to 9810 mm per second square. So it is better that instead of changing, because most of the students what they do, they never change G, they always take G as 9.81 meter per second square. So what they do, they first change this VM, then they change AG, then HT, then they solve the question. So I think that is not a good way to do, because you are changing a lot of things, so the potential to make mistakes will increase. So I think for this type of question what you need to do is to just change G, because other terms are given in the same units. So just change G. If the other units are given in meter, just take it as 9.81 meter per second square. If given in centimeter, just do the 981 centimeter per second square G, just take that. If all the things are given in mm, just take 9810 mm per second square as your acceleration due to gravity. And also remember, sometimes G is given as 10, so make sure that you are taking G value equal to 10 only when it is given in the question, and if it is given in the question, then do take it. A shell of 100 mm diameter and 100 mm height with corner radius is to be produced by cup drawing. The required blank diameter is. Now this question is very easy, but here some student might find and might get confused or might just doubt their way of doing question by seeing the corner radius terms. So sometimes in GATE question it might happen that you have been provided with the data which is not useful for your calculation, because here to find the blank diameter you can do this by using this equation only and by using these two terms only. So it is d square plus 4dh. Simply doing that you can calculate it, and let me find it since it is easy. So let's not we will not have that much time to do this question, not be taking that much time, so let's do it. So see, it is coming out 223.60, so it will be coming 224, so that is correct answer. So we have found out the correct answer without using R, because R here is it is an excessive data. We are not it is a data which is not required to get the answer here. So this will happen in GATE examination, and you don't have to panic in such situation where you have been given with a value or with a data which is not there in your formula, and then it will make you will think that this question is something I have not studied, and you will either leave this question or either you will do this question in some other way, and hence you will do this mistake. So stick to your basics. If you are finding that this required blank diameter formula is this, then use that and get your answer. And if you are not able to find your answer by the formula that you are given or that you know, then you can always leave the question or always try some different approach, but don't try to forcefully insert or do something if it is given in the question. Stick to your basics and just follow it and do according to it. Don't get just panicked and confused if you are finding a new value or data which is not in your basic formula. In a shear cutting operation, a sheet of 5 mm thickness is cut along a length of 200 mm. The cutting blade is 400 mm long. Now comes a nice part. This cutting blade is given 400 mm long. Zero shear. So this is a sheet metal operation question, and it is given that cutting blade is 400 mm long. This is very important line because here a lot of you might make mistake due to this line. Ultimate shear strength is given and penetration to thickness ratio is given. We have to neglect friction and assume the force versus displacement curve to be rectangular. The work done is to be calculated in joules. So work done is force into displacement or the distance traveled. So here let's calculate force first. So force will be, let's since no shear is given, so we will have this maximum force, because shear what it does, it reduces this maximum forces by distributing these things into a large distance. So we will have a cutting blade of length 400, and therefore we have to do this question. So what will be the answer here? So answer is coming out. You might obtain some other answer from me if you have done this very silly mistake. So the correct answer is 100 joules, but some of you might have calculated, I think, 200 joules. So this is correct, this is wrong. This is due to a common mistake. So what is the common mistake here? I have underlined a line that you have to focus and or that you have to not focus. That line was given by the examiner and I also underlined it, so that you, if you are focusing too much on that, you will, if you are only seeing 400 mm long, then you can get the answer wrong. So just read the line before that. A sheet of 5 mm thickness is cut along a length of 200 mm. So length of cut is 200 mm, and the cutting blade length is, and this is what we are going to use here, and the cutting blade length is L. Cutting blade, it is 400 mm. So this we don't have to use here in the question, because we are finding about the force which is required to do this punching operation or cutting operation, and that force will only be calculated by using the length, that is the cutting length, not the length of the cutting blade. So in this question you have to use 200 cross 5 cross the ultimate shear strength to get the maximum force. And again I have written here maximum force, but it should be maximum work done. So let me just erase all this. So maximum work done 200 will come if you, instead of taking the cutting length, you will take cutting blade length. So just notice that and take care of that, because you can make this very easy mistake, very silly mistake, and the examiner has given you the options, so that if even if you are making this mistake, you are getting an answer there in the option, and hence you can select that wrong on answer and get the wrong uh, option as the as your selection, and hence get the negative marks and lose the marks here also. So same question, but here if a shear is given, so now you have to see that shear, the question is again making you do the same mistake. It is showing that the shear is given for 400, so you will calculate s based on this 400, but you have to calculate it only for this 200 length, that is the length of cut. So you can calculate it like this and get your final answer, that is the maximum force, and that will be obtained by this formula. F will be, so to calculate S you have to find that by taking 200 as length, and the shear angle is given I think in the question. So shear is provided as 20, so that shear is S, but shear, that's S you are not going to take here, you are going to take here S as 10, because that is what S for this 200 length. So your final answer will be F max. What was F max coming? It was coming I think so what was F max coming here? So the data is also given here. It is 5 cross 200 cross 100. So 5 cross 200 cross 100, 10 raised to the power 5 into pt. So this whole term above is your uh, work maximum, so it will be 100 and divided by 10, so you will get your final answer here as 10, and it is coming in kilonewton because s in is in mm. So also remember this thing, that your s, when you are finding this force, needs to be changed to the kilonewton, or not kilonewton, needs to be changed into meter if you have taken the above term as joule, because if you have simply taken above term as newton mm divided by mm, then mm will get cancelled out and you will find the force in newtons. Hot working versus annealing. Now this is very important topic here, and I have discussed again this in one of my classes, but I thought that it is better to do this here also, because we are discussing about potential mistakes students make, and they also get confused here for hot working and annealing. So let's discuss that here. Then we have this question, simple question again, 3 4 5, and then we have other questions 6, then 7. So these 7 questions are left for the day, and let's keep moving and discussing about those questions. hot working versus annealing. So hot working is done. So it is a metal forming process. It is a process where we do, for example, hot rolling. It is a hot forming or hot working, and then we have our hot forging, hot extrusion. So these are all hot working processes, and hot working processes are metal working processes which are performed at a temperature which is above the recrystallization temperature. So recrystallization will be occurring in hot working, and as we go to the recrystallization temperature, we pass through this recovery phenomena where the stressed grains, the elongated grains, they become equiaxed, stress free. And when we occur, or when we just get to this recrystallization temperature, recrystallization occur. And what is recrystallization? It is forming of new equiaxed, stress free grains which are fine. And at the end of this hot working, by doing this two phenomena, we will find fine, equiaxed, stress free grains. In Ehlering, we are also doing this recovery and recrystallization, because annealing is done above recrystallization, but it is done well above recrystallization temperature. So the temperature at which annealing is done, it's more than hot working, and therefore that increase in the temperature will lead to grain growth phenomena. So this grain growth will occur due to annealing being done at a temperature which is well above the recrystallization temperature. So what you will find, after annealing, you are obtaining this coarse, equiaxed, stress free grains. So coarse, equiaxed, stress free grains are obtained after annealing, which is having recovery, recrystallization plus grain growth, and the grain growth was not observed in the hot working process. So what you can say here is that annealing produces a soft grains or more ductile grains. So if you want to obtain your final microstructure a with a appreciable strength and ductility, then hot working will be done. And annealing will not give it that much strength, because it will be making the grains coarse, and hence it will be making it soft, because coarse grains are more ductile. So machinability properties will improve, but the strength will be lost. So recrystallization, it is also having good strength because of the grains being fine, and the ductility is also improved from the cold working where grains were strain hardened. So the stresses were made free due to this recovery phenomena which is occurring on both, and recrystallization is making sure that new equiaxed stress free grains are there, and then we have this grain growth. Thickness of a metallic sheet is reduced from an initial value of 16 mm to final value of 10 mm in one single pass rolling with a cylindrical rollers of diameter 400. The bite angle in degree will be. So this is very basic thing that I am going to point it out, and then we will move forward. The bite angle is sometimes asked in degrees, sometimes asked in radians. So you have to be careful while answering. So take care while answering which bite angle is asked in which unit. If it is asked in degrees or radians, and select according to it. So for example, it is asked in degrees, then it will be less than 10. So just remember that. And if it is asked in radians, then it will be so what is 9 radian? Just I think it will be around 0 0.0 something. So it is coming 0.173. So again, it will be in point decimals if it is asked in radians, but if it is asked in this degrees, it will be less than 10 usually. There may be some exceptions, but it is generally what you will see when you are doing questions. The values will be like that. But again, degrees and radians both are there. Questions are there, both types of question where sometimes bite angle was asked in degrees, sometimes radians. So just look carefully again in the units while answering. Now comes the other question here. The ultimate tensile strength of a material is 400 megapascal. The elongation up to load, maximum load is 35%. If the material obeys power law of hardening, then the true stress strain relation in the plastic deformation ranges. So just remember, here it is already given that true stress strain relation you have to find. But remember always that for the power law of strain hardening, you have your sigma T is equal to K epsilon T N. So this is true stress, this is true strain. Always put them equal to here the true values, not the engineering stress and strain value, if you want to get the right answer. And N is equal to true value of the strain when or on true value of the strain at ultimate tensile strength. So ultimate tensile strength will be the maximum load. So elongation up to maximum load is 35%. So that will be engineering will is given as 0.35, and this you have to convert into epsilon t. So ln 1.35 will be your value, and what it is coming. And it is very basic thing, but some of you can make this mistake also, and it is also fine because you have to know what ln is. Ln is log base e, so it is given in the calculator as log base t. So take that, don't take the log base 10, take the log base e. So that is also a genuine mistake. If you don't know ln, it is log base e. So just correct all this mistake if you are finding this mistakes, and then you will find that this n is always equal to the true value of strain, and the true value of strain is 0.3. So this 2 will be the correct answer, this 2 will be the wrong one. Based on the value of n itself, we can tell that. So what is the ultimate tensile strength? It is 400, but it is 400 engineering value. What will be the true value here? 400 into 1 plus epsilon. So this will become 400 into 1.35. So this will become 540. So if you put 540 in place of this true strain, true stress, and 0.3 in true strain, and n is equal to 0.3, that is strain hardening exponent, then you can find k, and that will come out to be 774.92. So your correct answer will be this B, not this A. And in the option it is given so that you make this mistake of getting the wrong answer. And it is also given here by just putting n is equal to epsilon, that is the engineering strain, which is also wrong. So this question's option is very well for you to just look into and analyze. That examiner has given everything that you can, if you can even make a little mistake here in one of the things, you will entirely find that in the options, so that you can select that and get your answer wrong. So if you don't want your answer to be getting wrong, you have to be very well aware of the terms that you are there in the formula and that you are using the formulas. Just see what are the terms there and how what values you have to put there, and just follow that. So always remember power law of strain hardening: true stress, true strain, and the N is equal to true strain at ultimate tensile strength, not just strain. So that will be it for this question. In a two-stage wire drawing operation, the fractional reduction, that is ratio of change in cross-sectional area to initial cross-sectional area, in the first stage is 0.4. The fractional reduction in the second stage is 0.3. Overall fractional reduction is asked. So this is generally an aptitude question, not something that technical. So you have to just, based on the aptitude, you have to just find this solution. So in a two, this was asked in GATE 2015. I think this was a 2 marks question. So very easy question, but potential to make mistakes here are also good. So in a two-stage wire drawing operation, the fractional reduction in the first stage is, so we have 0.4 as reduction. And what reduction means is that, so first of all, never do this thing that overall reduction, you see the fractional reduction in the first is 0.4, then you have 0.3, then you get 0.7. So this is wrong. Don't do this mistake of just adding the fractional reduction. That's not how fractional reduction works, because overall fractional reduction, overall fractional reduction means dash of the original area. Okay, so it is, if 0.4 is being decreased or reduced in the first stage and 0.3 in the second stage, then it will surely account to less than 0.7, not 0.7, because first we are getting 0.4 reduced and 0.6 left, therefore, and from that 0.6 we are getting 0.3 reduced. So what you will find that first stage, your area should be A1, it is 0.6 A0. Why 0.6? Because 0.4 is the fractional reduction, so your left will be 0.6, and then you will have the second stage. So it will be 0.7 left, because 0.3 is reduced of the 0.6 A0, that is A1. So this A1 is 0.6 A0. So you will find 0.42 A0 as your final answer. But still that is not the value that you have to provide, because it is asked what is the overall reduction. But this is not reduction. This is what is left. So your reduction will be 1 minus 0.42. What it will be? It will be 0.48 is the answer, because that's how much area is reduced, and correct answer will be B. So the errors that you can make, I have pointed it out here, and I hope you can finally you can understand it properly. And even if you have did this question correctly, I hope you appreciate that this errors student makes, and you need to be aware of this errors so that you yourself are not making them even by some chance. Engineering strain, if engineering strain of a mild steel sample is 0.1 percentage, true strain is. So here you know the formula of engineering strain and true strain relation, so it is ln. But remember, in this formula you are not putting values as percentage, so you have to convert them first other than percentage, or convert them first so that they are not percentages, then put the value. So you will find your true strain here to be ln of 1 plus, instead of 0.1 you will be finding 0.001, because that's what you will get if you just get this remove this percentage, and then you will be getting your answer as 9.9950 into 10 to the power minus 4. And to get this in percentage, just multiply this with 100, then you will be getting 0.099 percentage. So the rest will be just not considered here, because that is what given in the question. So just remember, you are not putting this value in the formula epsilon t 2 strain is equal to ln 1 plus epsilon. You are putting there the normal values, not percentage value, and after you have calculated the true strain, just multiply 100 there to get the percentage. So this will be the answer here. So I hope this is clear to you. And let me just see one more thing here. So that is fine. Let's move forward. So again, we have this 2 questions left for the day only. And after this, we will end this class. And I will be taking again today one more class on the Unacademy's app or website. So in the app and website, you can find me 10 p.m. I will be taking thermodynamics question. So you can come to 10 p.m. at the Unacademy's on the Unacademy's app and website to attend thermodynamics class. And this here is the link that is written at the top part of the screen, where you can follow me and just get the schedules and notes there for free. So use this code ABHIMI, that is again written in the top of the screen, so that you can watch free classes and download my notes for free. And if you are wanting, then you can get the subscriptions there for 10% off. So let's do this 2 questions that are left and end this class then. Two cylinders of equal diameters have different heights. They are compressed plastically by a pair of rigid dies to create the same percentage reduction in their respective heights. Consider that the die workpiece interface friction is negligible ratio of final diameter of the shorter cylinder to the longer cylinder. So this question is, you can make the mistake in this question because a lot of words here are given, and you have to find the ratio, that is the mathematical relation or mathematical ratio, by using this whole data that is given in the form of words. So when this type of questions come, just try to do this in a way which is even you are going to write all the things, it is fine, write them. Don't just try to do this on air and make mistake, because here if you are not being careful, then you can make mistake. So let's see what will be the solution of this. So 2 cylinders of equal diameter, so let's take the equal diameter D. have different heights. So let's take H1 and H2, and they are compressed plastically by a pair of rigid drives to create same percentage reduction in their respective heights. So the heights will be reduced in same percentage. So H1 minus H1 final divided by H1 is going to be equal to H2 minus H2 final divided by H2. This is the same percentage reduction that is occurring in the respective heights. Consider that the die workpiece interface friction is negligible. This is just an assumption that we don't have to focus here. The ratio of final diameter of the shorter cylinder to that of longer cylinder. So due to this change in height, due to this compression, your diameters will change from D to, let's say, D1F and D2F. And since this is plastic deformation, these are deformed plastically. So for plastic deformation, we have this volume equal to constant. So what we are going to see here is pi by 4 d square h1 is equal to pi by 4 d1f square h1f, and same goes for the second cylinder. Okay, so we have to just find the ratio of final diameter of shorter cylinder to longer cylinder, so that we can only find when we find this ratio. Then if the ratio is coming greater, we will do the reciprocal, or if it is coming shorter, we will do we will write it as it is, and if it is coming 1 also, then we will write it as this it is, because we have to find shorter cylinder to that of longer cylinder ratio. So this is the relation, and the other relation will be this one. And we know that this is another relation. So it will be 1 minus h1f by h1 equal to 1 minus h2f by h2. So I think we will need, here it is h1 f, here it is h2, sorry, that was the correct one only written. So let me do this in other page. So I think one of the equation was so this will be cancelled, and from here we can find h1f divided by h1 to be d square divided by d1f square, and then we will find h2f divided by h1 to be d square divided by d2f square. And since both of this are equal, we will make both of this also equal. So we will have d square by d1f square is equal to d square by d2f square, and it looks like we are having d1f equal to d2f. So your ratio of diameters, final diameter, will be nothing but 1. So your final diameter ratio will be nothing but 1. So from this question you get to understand, even though it is given in the form of a theory, in the form of words, you have to properly write it down in the numerical or formula way and then do the question. And even if you are doing this whole in your rough work by taking time, do that. Don't make the mistake of doing this in a hurry or leaving this. And this question has to be done in a very proper way, in a way that you are properly writing with what is given in the question, and writing from the words to into the formulas. And if you are not doing from words to variables or parameters, then you are going to make the mistake of doing something wrong here. Because in one of the class, or in one of the class, I first did one thing very wrong by just writing it, I think not properly, or doing the calculation by not using all the details. So here you can make the mistake, and I'm just pointing it out here. Just use all the details that are given in the question after writing it down from the words into variables or parameters. So the last question of the day is: a strip of 120 mm width and 8 mm thickness is rolled between two 300 mm diameter rolls to get a strip of 120 mm width and 7.2 mm thickness. Speed of the strip at the exit is 30 meter per minute. There is no front or back tension. Assuming uniform roll pressure of 200 megapascal in the roll bite, 100% mechanical efficiency, minimum total power required to drive the two rolls is. So here it is given that you have to calculate the power for two rolls, but remember the total power, that is the power required to draw the two rolls, is always 2t omega, where t is the torque in Newton meter and this is the angular velocity in radian per second. So you will find this whole in watt. But even if it was not given, then for minimum total power, you total power is always means that it is 2 into t into omega, because t into omega is for one roller, and we are using this 2 for two rolls. So this 2 is for two rolls, and this t omega is giving you only the power of one roller. So make sure that you are just using this 2 to get the total power, not just doing t omega. If only it is asked that you have to calculate power to drive one roller, then you will calculate it by using t omega, not 2t omega. But if total power is given, even if it is not given that what it is for two rollers, by default you will know that minimum total power is 2t omega. So just calculate using that. So that will be it for today's class. And if you found this video helpful, if you found this class engaging and beneficial for you, and also if you found that you enjoyed what is there in the class, if you found the presentation good, then just hit the like button. It will help me a lot. And subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon for notification, so that whenever an educator goes live, you can get his or her class notification, so that you can attend the class live, which is the best way. And I will be taking these classes at 6 p.m. For some days. Then I will look into if I have to change time or not, because some sort of work is going around here in my house. So I am just adjusting according to it. So 6 p.m. tomorrow also I will be taking class. And 10% off code is here shown in the screen, ABHIMI. And just use this 10% off code to subscribe to Unacademy and subscribe to one of the packages, because this is the best time for you to do that. And if you are not subscribing now, then you are missing the chance of attending revision classes, crash courses, which are going on in a lot. And you are also missing the chance to give test series and obtain analysis of it. So everything that is required for you to study for GATE examination in 2 months, in the last 2 months, are there in your Unacademy subscription. So just subscribe and choose a plan according to your need and budget, according to which is giving you most savings. And use this code to also go to Unacademy and attend free classes and download some free notes there. But the free classes and notes are just the taste of what Unacademy offers, and you are investing time. So I am expecting you to use this code and subscribe to Unacademy and using this code, you will not only help yourself by getting the Unacademy subscription at a least possible cost, but you will also support me, so that will be very good for you and me both. So again, thank you for watching. I will be taking my next class today at 10 p.m. on Unacademy's website. You can find me there by using this link at the top of the screen. Follow me on Unacademy. Just write it down on your copy, write it down in your browser, enter it, you will be taken to my profile. Then just click on the follow button, then you will be known whenever I am taking a class and which class I am taking when, so my schedule will be visible to you. So again, that's it for today's class. Thank you for watching. Best of luck for your preparation. Stay safe and take care. That's it for today's class.